Really some mixed messages here, relaxing on the one front, tougher and more punitive responses on the other.
That's right, Kieran. Melburnians can now meet up with up to 5 people outdoors from 2 different households, but anyone caught gathering in groups larger than that or having people to their homes will be fined $5,000. The original penalty was still pretty hefty at $1,600, but it has been increased substantially, and that's essentially to deter people from doing the wrong thing and potentially spreading the virus. Melburnians can expect to see an increased police presence. Police say they will be knocking on doors, and they're encouraging members of the community to speak up and contact police if they see people breaching these restrictions. They say it's not about dobbing in your neighbour, but rather about keeping the community safe. Now, police are acknowledging that lockdown fatigue has well and truly set in, and the weather is getting warmer now. But they say despite coronavirus restrictions being in place for most of the year, some people just still aren't listening to the message. And over the weekend, Victoria Police had to shut down 10 parties.
40 people in one party. Several of them did a runner, some just dispersed. We ended up giving out 15 infringements. If we gave out those 15 infringements under this new guideline, that would be a $75,000 party. That's a heck of a party.
And Gab, obviously there were going to be some heads that roll in terms of the management of this. The first significant one is Jenny Mikakos, the Health Minister, her resignation. But the fallout continues. The Premier, incredibly, still has not spoken to her.
That's right. The Premier has been quite inconsistent about this, Kieran. On Saturday, he said he welcomed Jenny Mikakos' resignation but wouldn't say why. Yesterday and today, he was talking about how hard-working she was, but after her 20-plus years of service for the Victorian Labor government, he still hasn't picked up the phone to contact her. Now, her resignation was certainly dramatic. She went straight to the Governor and she took aim at Premier Daniel Andrews, saying she disagreed with parts of his testimony at the hotel quarantine inquiry. Today, she has thrown another grenade on Twitter. I'll read you what she said. She said, "I'm so proud of Victorians and so grateful for the sacrifices made to get us to this point. We are well and truly on the way to eradication." Now, that is the key word, Kieran, eradication. Epidemiologists have been critical of the Premier's roadmap to recovery, saying that this strategy is one of eradication and not suppression. This is something that the Premier still denies. Now, in his press conference today, the Premier was grilled on why he had confidence in Jenny Mikakos if she was ultimately the one responsible for the hotel quarantine debacle.
Someone who I am prepared to say in very clear terms is someone who, in my judgment, has always worked as hard as she possibly could to do the best job she possibly could, and I just don't think there's anything served by me going any further than that.
Have you spoken to Jenny Mikakos yet?
No, I have.
If you had such confidence in someone who's served more than 20 years in Parliament, how come that hasn't warranted a phone call?
Well, again, I've got a lot of things to do. She's focused on the next chapter of her life. I'll speak to her at some point, I'm sure.
It's been revealed the cost of the hotel quarantine inquiry is set to double, the government putting in an extra $3 million.